This is the Edifier R1700BT, and if you're on a hunt right now for a pair of mighty competent active desktop speakers with wired and Bluetooth versatility for only, get this, $180, this would be it. Now, it's also nice when something looks and feels and sounds more expensive than it costs, and the R1700BT definitely meets that criteria, and then some, of which I'll get into a little bit more detail over the next few minutes. So, if you're ready, let's find out why these should be at or near the top of your shopping list this week, because you already have milk, eggs, bacon, vegetables, toilet paper, and then you got the R1700BT. So, let's do this. The Edifier R1700BT retails for $180, and it comes in 3 colorways even. There's black, silver, which is my all-time favorite, but really hard to find as well, so kudos if you can find one of your own. And this one, brown. The woofer, look at how nicely made this thing. Metal surround with hex screws and all that, so nice. 4 inches. The Silk Dome Eagle Eye tweeters 0.75, and altogether 65 watts peak power. On the right side, there's a Class D amp as well that powers both speakers, DSP, DRC, dynamic range control. There's Bluetooth 5.1 as well in here with AAC and SBC support. I'm trying to be careful not to press down on the domes as I flip this over. Dual RCA inputs right here. They're labeled on the back, and I'm not sure if you can see it, as aux in and PC in as well, with a dedicated sub out via a 3.5 port. The weight per speaker is 6.6 kg, so it's pretty decent as well. You can put it on a stand and it'd be pretty stable as well. I just mentioned that the amp is in the right speaker, right? And it powers the left side right here via this connected cable, which comes in a box. This thing is decently thick, and it's really generous in length. I haven't fully measured it, but I think it comes to around 10 to 12 feet long. Anyways, here's the power button. I haven't mentioned that yet. And if you look at this at the back, guys, they could have easily cheaped out on this, right? But look at how well put together and the labeling is. It's really nice and neat. I really enjoy it, and the contrast between the black and, in this case, the rosewood is pretty darn nice. It's starting to grow on me, even though it's not my top choice for color. You can see the angle right here, 10 degrees. It points the drivers, if it's sitting on your desk, directly at your ears, which is a nice touch, so you don't have to buy a dedicated speaker wedge for it. Another nice touch is the recess control. So if you lay this on your side or on its side, or if you're adjusting the speaker, you don't accidentally hit the controls. They're analog as well. You can hear, I'm not sure if you can hear this. That's the volume control. Really nice volume right there. Love the feedback on it. There is a remote that comes included with the speaker set, and it's mostly to control the Bluetooth side of things. And I purposely didn't clean it so you can see how much of a fingerprint magnet this thing is. Right here, this on-off is the sound field spatializer effect that simulates a wider soundstage. I prefer to leave that off, but it is an option right there if you want it. Here you can switch between line 1 and line 2, like the RCA 1, RCA 2. Turn on Bluetooth and turn it off to mute it as well. And here are your regular media control buttons. First, let me get this straight. You're getting a lot of speaker for under $200 here, guys. Like, sound-wise, I'll dare say that even if the 1700 was $400, I'll still be like, yeah, I'll buy that. On something like Hendrix doing Voodoo Child or Sunny by Boney M, the vocals and mids bring a level of clarity that's both mature and confident, and it's probably the best part of the speaker set. Treble is pretty clear, and I think the tweeters do a decent job at presenting high notes, although those of you who are used to higher end, crisper stuff will obviously find the highs recessed somewhat. Bass on these things is punchy and controlled, although I'll still recommend a dedicated sub in this situation, like the Edifier T5, a really good pairing that gives the setup a nice 2.1 rumble, plus gives the speaker drivers a little bit more room to breathe, especially once you take out the lower frequencies. Now, if you're using these as a starter hi-fi set or as secondary speakers and decide to put them in a mid-sized room, be mindful not to push them too much, because chuffing begins to show up around 85-90 decibels, while distortion on average around 100 decibels. It really depends on what you're playing at the end of the day, but the point being, the amps in here are willing, but not the drivers. In fact, here's a crazy thing. Look at this cable. The cable that connects the right to left. Look how long this thing is. It tempts you to want to put it in a really large room and use it as your home theater speaker or something. Just don't. They call this a desktop speaker for a reason, so don't expect more than that. A little housekeeping. I have binaural mics on my ears right now, so to raise the drivers to the approximate height to record best, I put the speakers in wedges. And by the way, we're testing in Bluetooth, no subwoofer connected right now. So let's do this. And we're at 50% volume, at least from my source. Let's pump it up to 60 or 70. Switch modes. Moving on to wired. Again, no subwoofer connected. Let's do this. Note that maximum volume is 120 on this. So we're around 65-70% also. I forgot to test. Let's go back to Bluetooth, the spatial thing. Let's go back and reconnect, and then let's play this song again. Okay, right now it's off. Let's turn it on. You can see the difference in this. Feel it? Off. On. Let's go back to another side. This is it with it on. Off. More central. On. It's not bad with instruments, but once vocals come in, it's like eh. Let me show you what I mean here. Off. On. Alright, this time we have the speakers connected to the T5 subwoofer. Let's test it again. It's 50%. This right here is another case where Edifier designers didn't do a color by the numbers boxy speaker shape to match the price point. They basically said, F it. Let's make it look like you paid $300 for it, dang it. Like for example, the MDF enclosure here has angles and contrasting color that gives the speakers character and pleasing style. Sometimes designers use visual trickery like that to hide subpar materials or manufacturing, but it's not the case here. Like, seams are tight, the housing is high quality, even the bottom right here is angled 10 degrees, so there's less of a need to buy wedges for it. The control dials right here, and a shout out to the volume knob particularly, are quality as well. They're analog and they have actual detents like proper analog knobs should. Now, if there was one hiccup to nitpick, I think it would be the ugly pegs right here for the grill covers, because they stick out quite a bit when the covers are off, as you can see, looking like elongated nipples. Surprise, surprise, there's not much to complain here except for, what we talked about a few minutes ago, like bass could use a little bit more kick, plus a couple of design missteps like the nipple nubs or the out of place IR window for the remote. I would say a USB-C port would be nice to have actually, and so would some sort of auto off or standby mode or low power mode when the speaker is not in use, because otherwise it's always on. The remote also has a narrow span, so you really have to point at the speaker itself, this little ugly window right here, to really get your commands to register. Edifier, if you haven't noticed already, don't just make headsets. They make dedicated speakers for all budgets. From simple desktop PC speakers that cost like $40-50 to bookshelves that'll set you back $2,300 big ones. Now the R1700BT sits decidedly in the lower price bracket, but guys, you need not to be ashamed for owning it. It punches a weight class and above itself, because for $180, you're getting something that sounds above average, has tons of connectivity as we saw earlier, and is really well made. Now, a couple of caveats to the SQ though is A, add a subwoofer if you can, because it really wakes things up, and B, don't use these speakers in larger rooms, otherwise things will start sounding weak. And the fact that the speaker points its drivers like 10 degrees up towards you basically tells you that the 1700 is strictly made to sit either on your desk or low stands in something like a smaller bedroom. Well, I think that's a wrap, guys. Thank you so much for being here, for checking out this little R1700BT review with a special guest appearance by the T5 subwoofer down there. If you like what I do, if you like to see more content like this, seriously guys, a thumbs up and subscribe down below, and reshare Gear Up with Aaron with your friends and family. It would really help. A million life points to you. Plus, if you like to see fuller sound features in the sound demo, like I use fuller songs and such, you can find it on Patreon as a member, or join the YouTube membership for my channel as well. You'll get fuller songs there, and you'll get probably a fuller experience of how speakers and headphones that I test sound like as well, with some of your popular songs. Thank you for watching, guys. Again, remember to do something loving and kind for somebody in this world, because guess what? The world needs it more than ever, and it starts with you. I love you all very much. Peace out and God bless. Whoosh.